Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
This is the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC.
A man who's gone through hell, but he's kept going, and he's smart, and he's strong, and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone.
Now, here's Roger Stone.
Welcome back. I'm Roger Stone, and this is the Roger Stone on the show on the Red Apple Audio Network. While we're waiting for Congressman Clay Higgins to join us, we're going to go back to the phone lines. The number, once again, 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222. Let's go to Dean in New Jersey. Dean, welcome to the Roger Stone Show.
Thank you, Roger. I have a question, just one question. CNN has never covered a Trump rally live, never, except for this one. Why is that?
I also found that extraordinarily interesting. As you know, there was a CNN camera crew that just happened totally by coincidence to be 25 feet from my front door on January 25th, 2019, when at 6 o'clock in the morning, 29 fully SWAT-clad, heavily armed FBI agents brandishing fully automatic assault weapons stormed my home to arrest me for the first time, a nonviolent crime of allegedly lying to Congress in my voluntary testimony before the House Intelligence Committee, when the government could never establish any motive to lie to Congress. So it is extraordinarily suspicious, once again, that CNN had full coverage of the rally. I am surprised, not surprised, but I should say pleased at the way the President Trump, has conducted himself since that horrific event. The speech that many in the mainstream media panned at his convention, I went back and reread it. It was an uplifting, unifying speech. I think it reads extremely well. I can tell you that in the hall, there was really not a dry eye in the House. Yet, in all honesty, my greatest concern right now is the fact that Republicans appear to me already to be overconfident. This is not in the bag. We don't know if Kamala Harris is going to rise to the occasion. The fact that she is not highly regarded by many in her own party, nor many in the media, Willie Brown, her mentor, who's an old friend of mine because he's actually been on my international best dress list several years in a row, tells me and has told me that she should not be underestimated, that she is tactical, and she didn't get to the U.S. Senate by being stupid. So if they are saddled with her as their candidate, and I think that is probably likely, I thought that Hillary Clinton was maneuvering because there was a piece published in The Hill, which is a D.C. publication, that I saw as a trial balloon. I thought that Hillary Clinton very surely would be maneuvering in this mix with other would-be presidents. But let's recognize that if Kamala Harris is nominated, she has a number of options that could affect the Electoral College map. If she took Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, a swing state, for vice president, or Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, the current governor, another must-win state, that alters the geography of this race. I predict to you that when things settle down, because you've got two major news events here, not only the attempt on Donald Trump's life, but also the stunning announcement that Joe Biden is not going to stand for re-election, it's very hard to poll accurately within the eye of the storm. Generally speaking, a wise survey researcher waits for public attitudes to settle down. I predict that the race is still going to be relatively close, that President Trump will maintain his narrow lead in the swing states. The good news is that some states that heretofore were thought to be out of reach now appear to be potentially winnable. Those specifically being Virginia, New Mexico, Maine, and New Jersey. Yes, I went on the floor of the Republican National Convention to meet with those in the New Jersey delegation, and there is a definite feeling among New Jersey Republicans that the state is in play. In fact, I have seen polling that now shows it within 4 points. New Jersey, heretofore, a reliably blue state. So Republican overconfidence here is a great danger. Donald Trump understands he is going to have to work and fight for every vote, that nothing can be taken for granted. Clearly, some foreign leaders think that there's a growing likelihood that he will be president. I think that explains President Zelensky of Ukraine reaching out to him. Obviously, the visit from former Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson. But Republican overconfidence is something that disturbs me greatly. Was also very pleased that in the wake of the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump, that finally Secretary Mayorkas of Homeland Security ordered Secret Service protection for independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It's about time. I'm not a supporter of Mr. Kennedy. I'm obviously a 45-year friend of President Donald Trump and a strong supporter of his. But both Robert Kennedy's uncle and his brother gunned down JFK when he was president. Senator Robert F. Kennedy of New York brutally murdered in an assassination in which there are still many public questions. The night he won the Democrat primary in California in the kitchen of the Ambassador Hotel. Now, finally, Robert F. Kennedy, who is qualified under federal law for Secret Service protection, will receive it. I think this is has been a politicized decision for whatever reason. The Biden administration either thought that Secret Service protection would connote a certain, inevitability or legitimacy, I should say, not inevitability, but legitimacy to Robert Kennedy's candidacy. And they recognize that if the federal government doesn't pay for Secret Service protection, then Robert Kennedy has to pay those millions and millions of dollars out of his own campaign funds. So I think they have made a good decision. We do not need more violence. I'm honest. I fear that there will be another attempt on Donald Trump's life. I think those in the deep state, those who represent the ruling elite, those who have weaponized our criminal justice system to try to prosecute Donald Trump for non-existent crimes, both at the state and federal level, recognize that under a Trump presidency, you will have equal protection under the law. So I pray every night when I say the rosary, I include Donald Trump in my prayers, Donald Trump and his family. As I said earlier on the show, I think he is in some ways a different man. He has a certain calmness about him that he did not have previously, a certain assuredness, clearly believes the hand of God is involved here. In fact, I think we have some audio. Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a man of faith, a man who has served his country, is a U.S. Army veteran, as a law enforcement officer, who is now serves as a member of the House Homeland Security Committee, as well as chairman of the Border Security and Enforcement Subcommittee of that committee. Congressman Higgins also serves as a senior member of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee. So Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a strict constitutionalist, a solid conservative, who is recognized as a champion of small government, lower taxes, secure borders, and individual freedoms, joins us now on the Roger Stone. Congressman Clay Higgins, thank you for joining the show.
Oh, Roger, it's wonderful to speak to you, sir, and on behalf of conservative Republicans and the MAGA movement across the country, let me say thank you, good sir, for being an unwavering champion for American principles and the history that has made our country great for 240 years. So I'm honored to speak with you, and we can cover any topic that you like, good stuff.
Well, an obvious place to start, I think, because I know you are a man of deep faith. We met in Milwaukee. We shared a meal over which we prayed. I see the hand of God in all of this. 18 months ago, I saw the heavy, jackbooted authoritarian government attempting not only to bankrupt Donald Trump, but also to incarcerate him over non-existent crimes. So first they wanted to bankrupt him, then they wanted to jail him. Now, sadly, I fear that they have tried to kill him. I think we have an audio that I want to play in which the president reflects on the hand of God in all of this.
My father used to love Billy Graham. My father would take me to see Billy Graham at Yankee Stadium. He had the biggest rallies you've ever seen. He was a good rally guy, too. But he'd get up, and he was a fantastic guy. My father loved Billy Graham. But I love Franklin Graham. I think Franklin's been fantastic, and I'm working so hard to adhere to his note to me. I'm working hard on it, Franklin. But if the events of last Saturday make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on earth is a gift from God. We have to make the most of every day for the people and for the country that we love. The attacker in Pennsylvania wanted to stop our movement, but the truth is the movement has never been about me. It has always been about you. It's your movement. It's the biggest movement in the history of our country by far. Can't be stopped.
It's interesting that President Trump makes reference to a very famous rally at Yankee Stadium in which Vice President Richard Nixon also addressed the crowd. He's absolutely right. Billy Graham is one of the greatest Americans of the 20th century, and his son, Franklin Graham, played a very central role in my own redemption in the blood of the cross. He is the man who urged me to come back to the church. Quite frankly, I think this not only saved my life, but has wrought numerous miracles in my life, including my wife of more than 30 years, not only surviving, but now thriving after beating stage 4 cancer. Only through the healing power of Jesus Christ. So I really, you could feel it in that hall when Donald Trump gave full credit to the Almighty. It was a powerful, powerful moment. You heard the president's speech, Congressman. CBS said he was meandering. They said that he was repetitious. I thought his speech was terrific, uplifting, positive. Yes, he did reprise his greatest hits. You know why? Because we do have an open border. Because we do have the highest rate of inflation in recent history. Because we are on the precipice of two world wars. One in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the other one in the Middle East. The president has no choice but to hammer the disastrous record of this administration. It is a record that Kamala Harris is going to have to carry forward. Actually thought in his press conference, when President Biden said, Kamala Harris has been in charge of the border and she's done such a great job, I immediately thought, wow, what a television and radio commercial that will make. Your views on the president's speech, Congressman?
Yes, sir. I was moved by one thought that reverberated as I listened to the president's speech. I was uplifted, and I felt the sincerity of his speech, and there's something deeply beautiful and new about the president's demeanor and his sort of presence, like his very being seems to have been touched by the grace of God. And to me, what struck me in a beautiful way, but by his speech, was that not only was it sincere and clearly came from his heart, every word of it, whether it was from the teleprompter or whether he came off script, any listener that was paying attention could clearly perceive that President Trump's speech was born of a man's heart that has been that has borne witness to the hand of God in his life, and it just came across with such a sincerity of the president's love for country and love for his fellow man. There's a new sort of a spiritual echo that accompanies his speech that is in itself is uplifting from a spiritual level to me. And the scripture that came to mind as I was listening to him was when Paul in Corinthians told us to place not your faith in the wisdom of man, but in the spirit and power of God. So, yes, I have admired and supported President Trump since 2015, and I admire his wisdom and his strategy, and he's always seems to be thinking and planning 5 or 6 steps ahead of the smartest guy in the room. And yes, he's been on a beautiful journey to embrace his Christian faith. I've witnessed that, but he's on another level now, Roger. He is, and I hope that evangelicals across the country are paying very close attention, because this is a moment in American history when Christian principles will have a tremendous voice in what the future of America looks like. And we should encourage and support the president on his Christian journey, and I most certainly do, and I'm more motivated than ever to help the Republican ticket up and down in November. I'm on the ballot myself, as is every congressional candidate. I will win in my district soundly by a wide margin on the first ballot. So I think we're looking at a beautiful era emerging for the entire country and indeed for the world. Let us observe that America is the bright light for the entire free world, and great things happen across God's entire earth when America thrives and when America embraces the core principles that gave birth to our beautiful country. So that's how I see things moving forward, and I am prayerful that the entire country will just take a deep breath and support the brightly illuminated path that the Lord has prepared for our country moving forward.
Exceedingly well said. Folks, if you're just tuning in, this is the Roger Stone Show. We're talking to Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, and we'll be right back.
It's the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC. It's the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC.
Welcome back, folks. I'm Roger Stone, and this is the Roger Stone Show here. We have with us Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana's 3rd District. Congressman Higgins, I noticed in the debate, which was a unmitigated disaster for Joe Biden because it revealed to the American people exactly who he is. It's funny that they accuse Donald Trump of lying when Biden lied repeatedly, claiming that Trump had called American veterans who gave their life to serve this country suckers and losers, something he never said. There are 20 people present. 19 people insist he never said that. One man, John Kelly, only after he was fired, smears the president by saying otherwise. The claim that Biden inherited 16% inflation from Donald Trump, it was 6.3. Biden claiming that Donald Trump said that Nazis in Charlottesville were fine people, never said that at all. Claiming that Donald Trump said that Hitler did some good things. Again, Donald Trump never said that either. But the other thing I noticed was his recycling the January 6th narrative. Nobody in the Congress has been tougher or more aggressive in seeking to get to the bottom of what really happened on January 6th. Are we ever going to find out what the government's real role was that day? Here's what I know. Those giant heavy doors on the U.S. Capitol can only be opened from the inside. Somebody opened them. Congressman, are we ever going to learn the truth?
Well, we have gradually revealed a great deal of truth, but the truth has been investigated and confirmed within like silos of investigative effort that are not greatly visible to the American people, not at this point, because number one, there's a widespread effort by the mainstream media to conceal that truth, and number two, the most powerful investigative and prosecutorial government entities in the world, the DOJ and the FBI, they are dedicated to concealing that truth. So when guys like me and the Oversight Committee and Jim Jordan on the Judiciary Committee, we have hearing after hearing revealing the truth, and we have very candid media discussions with those that are courageous enough to interview us about these things, like you right now, good sir. We certainly reveal truths to the American people, but the wide recognition of what we are revealing and have revealed is quelled by the mainstream media and by this narrative that has been presented and sold to the American people by the DOJ and the FBI since 2020, because January 6th didn't begin on January 6th. J6 as an event in our country, as a moment in history, began much earlier in 2020 under COVID oppression. And and that's where you really have to begin to understand the depth to which our FBI and our intelligence services were involved in creating the narrative that led to the compromised election cycle of November 2020, which led to the American protest, the Patriot protest in Washington, D.C., our capital, on January 6th of 2021, wherein the stage had been set to create the J6 media circus of a handful of Americans that were sort of reeled in by the staged actors that were on the ground and inside the Capitol that were working on behalf of, or actually for, the FBI and those dark forces within our country that made J6 happen. And the media was standing by to cover it, to create this video monstrosity across every major network, presenting to the American people this false narrative that not only was President Trump, a danger to the country. That's what they were presenting. But the entire mega movement, the mega nation, the 100 million Americans that supported the president and the America First agenda, they presented this narrative that we were enemies of the republic and we were to be looked at as domestic terrorists. So that's an incredibly false narrative, 100% a lie. The events that unfolded on January 6th had been staged for the better part of a year by bad actors within our federal government, including our DOJ and our FBI and our CIA. The election cycle of 2020 was most certainly compromised. You asked the original question, Roger, of will we ever know the truth? I think the true question is, good sir, respectfully, is will America ever believe fully the truth that has already been presented? And will accountability happen becomes the real question. And the answer is, honestly, I don't know. I think that if we can get President Trump inaugurated, and if we have a Republican majority in the House and the Senate, then there will be nothing to stop full accountability. And men like me and Jim Jordan and Chairman Comer and Andy Biggs and Marjorie Taylor Greene, we are going to push for most certainly full accountability of those bad actors within our FBI, DOJ, and our CIA that were involved in setting the stage for J6 and in prosecuting American citizens after J6, using the evidence that they harvested from their staged events on J6.
All right. Unfortunately, we are out of time. So I want to thank Congressman Clay Higgins, a man for whom I have enormous respect for his service to his country and to his extraordinary courage to ferret out the truth, not only about January 6th, but about the entire authoritarian trend in our government. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today on The Roger Stone Show.
Yes, sir, Roger. God bless you and God bless America, sir.
God bless you. Folks, when we come back, former Democrat Governor Rod Blagojevich of Illinois, who is actually at the Republican National Convention, is going to join us, help us break down what's going on in the Democrat Party today, and get his impression of that convention. So don't touch that dial, because we'll be right back with The Roger Stone Show.
It's the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC.